It was a sunny day on the island of Sodor, and Will, along with Emily, were busy at work on the new branch line. Later that day, Sir Topham Hatt came to see them. "Hello, sir. What brings you here today?" asked Will. "Well, I'm here for you, Will." "For me, sir?" "Yes. You see, I need a shunter for today at the yards because all of the other engines are busy. Can you help?" Will smiled. "Of course, sir." And then he looked at Emily. "Emily, can you take care of the cars while I'm away?" Emily smiled at her friend. "Of course, Will." And with that, Will puffed away to the yards. After Will left, Emily continued her work on the branch line. Soon, Will made it to the yards and saw James there. "Hello, James," said Will. "Hello, Will. Are you here to shunt my coaches?" "Yes, I am, and I'm here to shunt cars as well." "Well, you better get to work." Will laughed and set to work on fixing the yards. He was having fun with it too. The cars behaved well, and the coaches came along nicely. Soon, the yards were in perfect working order again, and all of the engines were impressed, including James. "Amazing," said Henry. "Bravo, Will, you really got the yard fixed," said Thomas. "Not bad, Will, not bad at all," said James. Will beamed. "Of course, oh, thank you." Meanwhile, though, Emily, however, was having trouble with the cars. "Come along, you cars," she groaned. But the cars were singing. Emily, red, quite contrary. Cannot pull, cannot push. But Emily finally got the cars where they needed to be. Just then, the manager arrived. "Emily, we have a special load of coal to take to the harbor. Can you do it, please?" Emily smiled. "Of course I can," she said, and with that, she gathered the cars up, and while she saw Will pulling the express. "Will, why are you pulling the express?" "Oh, long story short, Gordon burst the safety valve, and I was the only engine available." Emily smiled at her friend. "Well, take care of his coaches. You seem to miss him while he's away." "I will." And with that, Will set off. After he left, the cars started to sing again. "Will and Emily sitting in the tree. Kissing. Oh, be quiet, you lot," said Emily, as she bumped them hard. "Whoa, temper, said the cars. Emily didn't say anything else and puffed away with her load. But what Emily didn't know was that she was leaking brake fluid. As Emily made it to the station at the harbor, she saw Will again, resting. "Hey, Will, how was your time pulling the express?" "Oh, it was great. Sir Tom had told me that I could pull the express sometimes." "Well, good for you, Will. You deserve it." Thank you, Emily, said Will. Well, I must be off. Because now that I've delivered my load here, I'm heading back to the branch line. Okay, take care, Emily. Bye, Will. And with that, she set off back to the branch line. Just as soon as Emily left, Thomas arrived. Hello, Will. I see that Emily left. Yeah, you just missed her. Just then, Will saw some fluid on the rails. Hey, Thomas, what's that on the tracks? Thomas looked at the fluid on the tracks and said, It looks like brake fluid. Will was nervous. But if that is brake fluid, then that means... Just then, Will looked along the line where Emily left. Emily! He cried. Then he looked at Thomas urgently. Thomas, tell Tom what has happened. I want to try to stop Emily. You got it, Will. And as Will set off to stop Emily, Thomas went to tell Tom Hat. As Emily went along the main line, she saw a signal up ahead. Driver, there's a signal up ahead. Let's stop. The driver tried her brakes, but nothing happened. Emily, your brakes are gone, he said, as he continued to try the brakes. Oh no, I can't stop! Help! Help! I'm coming! Oh, Will. Will was panting up behind with every ounce of steam he had. At last, he caught up with Emily. Will, help! Don't worry, Emily. I'll stop you. Then Will went in front of Emily and switched onto her line. All right, Emily, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to try to brake you to a stop, okay? Okay, Will, but hurry. I'm scared. Don't worry, Emily. I'm here, said Will. And slowly and carefully he started to slow down. And Emily was starting to catch up more and more. Just then, Emily finally hit Will's bumpers with a loud bump. Ouch! Said Will, as he put on his brakes hard. His brakes were screeching, trying to stop Emily. But it was hard. But Will had lots of strength. For being a DB Class 82 tank engine, his brakes were strong, super strong. And slowly but surely, Emily started to slow down. And then finally stopped. Emily finally stopped. Oh, thank goodness. Are you all right, Emily? Said Will. Yes, thank you, Will. You saved me. Will smiled. Well, we're friends, aren't we? Let's just call this even from when you saved me from scrap. Emily laughed. Later, Will brought Emily to the steamworks to be mended. And when he got there, he saw Sir Tom Hat waiting for them. Well, Will, I've heard all about it and I'm very pleased with you. You are a really useful engine and a hero. Thank you, sir, said Will. Sir Tom Hat then looked at Emily. Emily, you will have some new brakes and a new coat of paint. And you will have your own coaches. You deserve it. Oh, thank you, sir, said Will, happily. Oh, Will, congrats. You deserve it. Thank you, Emily. So Thomas looked at Will and said, well, Will, it looks like maybe now you and Emily could be more than just friends. You can be girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend. Thomas laughed, and everyone laughed, including Will, who blushed bright red.